Ever wondered why your opponent's shots seem to have a mind of their own? You know, those pesky balls that dip and dive, making you scramble just to get your paddle on them. It's not magic, it's topspin, and it's about to become your secret weapon. In this video, we're going to unravel the mystery of topspin together. You'll discover why some players seem to effortlessly keep the ball in play while hitting with power, and how you can do it too. Get ready to transform your game and leave your opponents scratching their heads. Picture this. You're at the courts, and there's that one player nobody can beat. Their shots are fast, but not super powerful. So, what's their secret? This mystery had our group of friends scratching their heads. So they decided to figure out why this player's shots were so hard to return. They started by watching game footage, thinking they'd spot something obvious. But nope, the opponent's technique looked pretty normal. Nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. Frustrated, they started asking around. Turns out, other players had noticed it too. Everyone agreed this player was tough to beat, but nobody could explain why. Our friends weren't about to give up though. They hit the courts to try and copy those tricky shots. But something was still missing. No matter how hard they tried, their shots just didn't have the same effect. It was like trying to recreate a magic trick without knowing the secret. As they kept practicing and watching, they started to notice something interesting. There was a subtle difference in how the ball moved after it bounced. It wasn't just going fast, it was doing something else. The ball seemed to dip quickly after crossing the net, making it hard for opponents to get their paddle on it. That's when it hit them. There was more to these shots than just speed. It was all about spin. The unbeatable player was putting a ton of topspin on the ball, making it drop faster and bounce in unpredictable ways. But here's the thing. Knowing about the spin was just the first step. How exactly was the opponent generating so much of it? That was the real mystery. Our friends realized their investigation was far from over. They needed to figure out the technique behind this spin magic if they wanted to level up their own games. So, they set out to unlock the secrets of topspin. They knew it had something to do with how the paddle hit the ball, but the details were still fuzzy. Was it about the angle of the paddle? The speed of the swing? Or maybe it was all in the wrist? One thing was clear. Mastering topspin could be a game changer. If they could figure it out, they might just become the new unbeatable players at the court. The investigation was about to get a whole lot more interesting. Have you ever picked up a tool, thinking you knew exactly how to use it, only to find out you've been doing it wrong the whole time? That's exactly what our pickleball investigators were about to experience. The simple act of holding their paddle was about to turn their whole game upside down. Frustrated by their lack of progress, our friends decided to call in the big guns. They tracked down a local pro who had a reputation for helping players level up their game. The pro took one look at their grip and shook his head. "Show me how you're holding the paddle," he said. Turns out, they'd been doing it all wrong when it came to generating topspin. The pro demonstrated the correct grip, and it was a real eye-opener. "It's all about closing the paddle face," he explained. "This angle helps you brush up on the ball, creating that coveted topspin." Our friends were excited to try it out, but man, did it feel weird at first. Their shots were going all over the place, and for a moment, they wondered if they'd made a huge mistake. But the pro wasn't done with them yet. He pointed out another crucial factor they'd been missing: where they were hitting the ball. "It's not just about the grip," he said. "You need to focus on hitting lower on the ball and brushing up at contact." This combination of the right grip and the right contact point is what creates that wicked topspin. Our investigators got to work, practicing this new technique over and over. At first, it felt like they were starting from scratch. But slowly, they started to see a difference. Their shots were dipping faster over the net, just like the mystery players. It was like they'd unlocked a secret superpower. As they kept at it, the pro revealed the final piece of the puzzle: the brushing motion. "It's not a hit," he explained, but more of an upward brush. This motion, combined with the closed paddle face and low contact point, is what creates perfect topspin. Suddenly, everything clicked. Our friends were hitting shots that looked and felt completely different from before. They were getting closer to cracking the code of the unbeatable player. But as they watched their new spin-filled shots sail over the net, they realized something. The mystery opponent's shots seemed to have even more spin. What else could they be missing? Picture this. You've mastered the grip, perfected your contact point, and nailed the brushing motion. Yet somehow, Your opponent's shots still have more spin than yours. What if I told you the missing piece of the puzzle isn't in your hands, but in your feet? Let's explore the often overlooked power of position and timing in creating killer topspin. Our friends were back at the courts, determined to crack the code of the unbeatable player. As they watched their mystery opponent, something new caught their eye. This player always seemed to be in the perfect spot for every shot. It wasn't just luck. There was a method to their movement. Excited by this discovery, our group started paying close attention to footwork and body positioning. They noticed how the mystery player would set up differently for each shot, adjusting their stance based on where the ball was coming from. It looked so smooth and effortless, like a well-choreographed dance. But when our friends tried to copy this positioning, they quickly realized it wasn't as easy as it looked. They found themselves scrambling around the court, often off balance and struggling to get into the right spot. Their shots were all over the place, and that beautiful topspin they'd been working on, it was nowhere to be seen. Frustrated but not defeated, they kept at it. That's when they had another breakthrough. They realized it wasn't just about where you hit the ball. When you hit it was just as important. Timing, it turned out, was crucial for generating that wicked topspin. They started experimenting with letting the ball drop a bit lower before making contact. This gave them more room for that upward swing, allowing them to really brush up on the ball. At first, it felt weird, like they were waiting too long. But as they practiced, something amazing happened. Suddenly, their shots started looking a lot more like the mystery players. The ball was zipping over the net, fast and low, with that telltale topspin action. It was like they'd unlocked a whole new level in their game. As they kept practicing, it became clear where they needed to hit the ball to get the most spin. It wasn't just about contact point on the paddle anymore. It was about finding that sweet spot in space and time where everything came together perfectly. Our friends were getting closer to solving the mystery of the unbeatable player, but as they high-fived and celebrated their progress, they couldn't shake the feeling that there was still one piece of the puzzle missing. What could it be? The answer, as it turned out, was just around the corner. You've got the grip, the contact, and the positioning down. But why aren't your topspin shots as consistent as that unbeatable player's? There's one crucial element most pickleball players overlook, and it's about to change everything. That's when they decided to focus on practice techniques. They figured if they could build up their muscle memory, they'd be able to hit those perfect topspin shots without even thinking about it. Sounds great, right? Well, it wasn't that simple. They started with traditional drills, but quickly realized they weren't getting the results they wanted. These drills were okay for general skills, but they needed something more specific for topspin. One of the friends had a light bulb moment. What if we try practicing against a wall, she suggested. We could really focus on that brushing motion without worrying about where the ball's coming from. The group loved the idea and got to work. They set up in front of a wall and started hitting, paying close attention to how they were brushing up on the ball. At first, it felt a bit awkward. The ball would sometimes fly off in weird directions or barely make it back to them, but they kept at it, gradually increasing their speed and the amount of spin they put on the ball. As they practiced, something incredible started happening. Not only were their topspin shots improving, but their overall control was getting better too. They were placing the ball exactly where they wanted it, with just the right amount of spin. It was like they'd unlocked a whole new level of precision in their game. The group experimented with different practice routines. They'd start slow, really exaggerating the brushing motion, then speed up as they got more comfortable. They'd aim for specific spots on the wall, challenging themselves to hit smaller and smaller targets. Before long, they were addicted to this new way of practicing. Our friends had discovered the secret to practicing topspin all by themselves. No need for a partner or even a court, just a wall and a paddle. They realized that this solo practice was the missing piece they'd been looking for. It allowed them to repeat the motion over and over, building that crucial muscle memory without any distractions. With all the pieces finally coming together, the grip, the contact, the positioning, and now the perfect practice technique, our friends felt ready for the ultimate test. It was time to face the once unbeatable player and see if they could hold their own. The showdown was set and the excitement was building. Would their hard work pay off? The big day had finally arrived. Our friends stepped onto the court, ready to face the once unbeatable player. They were nervous, but excited to test out their new topspin skills. As the game started, something incredible happened. Those tricky shots that used to sail past them, They were actually returning them now. Sure, they didn't win every point. The mystery player was still tough competition, but our friends were holding their own, even hitting some impressive winners. It was like they were playing a whole new game. What they realized was that mastering topspin isn't about one magic trick. It's a combination of things. The right grip, making contact at the perfect spot, positioning yourself correctly, nailing the timing, and of course, tons of practice. But here's the cool part. With these skills, any player can seriously level up their game. As one pro player put it, topspin is crucial for modern pickleball strategy, as it allows players to manipulate the ball and challenge their opponents effectively. Our friends couldn't agree more. They may not be unbeatable yet, but they're definitely on their way. And the best part, you can do it too. Before you go, would you like to learn another vital shot to improve your game? Click on my video, How to Perfect the Critical Third Shot Drop in Pickleball. Thanks for watching.